I'm not here for fun. I'm not here to schmooze. I'd much rather be with my family in Panama. I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to make money.
None of your business, Oshi. None of your business, Michael.
It's the None of Your Business podcast, hosted by Michael and Oshi.
Welcome back, everybody, to another amazing episode of the None of Your Business podcast. This podcast, of course, is sponsored by the Prime Source family. And today we're on site at the healthcare show. First time ever, Oshi. This is very exciting. We're at a healthcare show where senior care operators and vendors are here, and we're interviewing at least over a dozen operators and over a dozen CEOs and administrators. I'm excited because we have a great lineup, and I know we're going to get some people in between. Oshi, how do you feel?
I'm very excited. I always love going to conferences. I think it's a good opportunity to meet with existing clients, meet new clients potentially. But I'm excited particularly about this because we're going to now get to see two sides of the spectrum. We get to see the perspective of the operator and then the opposite side of the coin of the vendor. And I think that it's going to be two separate sort of messages. You know, something, Michael, you and I want to explore is why are they here? Why do they even come to a conference? What are some of their challenges in their business? You know, what made them get into the healthcare industry to begin with? And there's a lot to take away. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think we have some great guests lined up. I think you did a phenomenal job, as always.
Thank you.
We have some of the best that are coming up here.
I think what I like about this upcoming episode that we have the interview set up is that we have both Jews and non-Jews alike. We have women. We have all different races. And we're going to just get in their face. And we're going to ask them questions, not so much about the senior care industry specifically, but more about their involvement and what could people do if they want to get involved with the senior care industry. Or people hear about it all the time, nursing homes, healthcare facilities. And if you want to know what the industry is about or where these people came from and what their hopes and their values and their missions are, that's what we're going to get into today.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, we touched upon this in our very first podcast, Mike, that we ever did. We talked about what is so unique about healthcare where you can say it's truly a community, right? We're always going out and doing conferences. We're getting together a lot, 10, 12 times a year. And in other industries, you don't see this type of collaboration where everybody's so close-knit, right? It's a small community, but a very large community at the same time. And like you just said, you have all different religions, you have all different genders, people from all different backgrounds. And when you're in this room, what it means is that you're a part of the healthcare community and you're contributing to it in some way or another. And I think that's what a beautiful thing this is. And I'm excited to hear people's stories. You know, it could be very intimidating when you look at someone who's very successful, someone who's been in this industry for a long time, and you wonder, how did this person get started? Like, how did this all come to be? What steps did they take? How did this all cultivate? And to be able to uncover that and to unpack it and to ask these questions and to see that a lot of these folks, they're just like us. They have the same struggles we do. And sure, you know, they're very successful in business, but it all comes from somewhere, right? Who are they as people? And that is what makes someone unique. That's what sets you apart. It's not about what business you're in. It's not about how much money you've made. It's really about how are you affecting other people's lives? Why are you someone that people want to be around? I think those are the things that we're going to talk about. And that's what I'm excited to get into.
You know, doing this over 2 decades, I have to tell you that something that I've learned a lot is the more successful a person is, the more approachable they are.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
You'd think it'd be the opposite.
You would think, don't be intimidated. If someone's out there and you're going to try to get into this industry, either from the operations side or from the vendor side, and you see a CEO or an operator of a vendor, go say hello. They're very approachable. And I think the common denominator with all of us in this industry is that we are in an industry of giving. We're all in the industry of giving. And it's not unique to just the healthcare, senior care space, but we are blessed to be in an industry of giving. And I feel like everyone wants to share something with someone and watch that journey and help everyone grow.
Yeah. And I think you touched on something very important, and there's a lot of truth to it. You think that the people who are extremely successful are probably less approachable, when it probably is the opposite. You know why? You know why that is? Because anybody who's made it to the top had a lot of falls along the way. There's no way to make it very, very far without the journey being treacherous, without the journey being arduous. They had a lot of things they had to contend with that makes them not feel like they're better than you because they had struggles, real struggles. That's how they got to the top. That's how anybody ever gets to the top, which means that they actually do want to help. You'll be surprised. They want to lift people up around them, and that makes them approachable.
And that's a question I think we should ask everyone today, which is, what would you tell your younger self?
Yeah.
And let's get into that. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. Get involved. Give us the feedback. We really appreciate it, and it helps us grow. Let's get the journey started.
All right, man. I'm excited. Let's go.
Okay. We are here with none other than Berel Solomon. Berel, you don't really need an introduction. However, we would like to hear it. How do you introduce yourself, Berel?
How I would like to introduce myself and how I actually introduce myself. My name is Berel Solomon, 36 years old. I live in Panama. I own a couple of businesses. I do a little bit on social media. I have 5 beautiful kids, and that's who I am.
Amazing.
I write down my goals, though, every day. Can I share with you where I would like to be?
Wow, absolutely.
Yeah? Can I share with you where I like to be?
So there's Berel Solomon, who I am, and now we're going to talk about Berel Solomon in the future.
I write my goals in present tense, so let me share them with you, okay? Always starts off with God willing, okay? I have a deep and loving, meaningful relationship with my kids. I have a great, deep, passionate relationship with my wife. My recruiting business does $17 million a year in recurring revenue with consistent clients. I'm relaxed as a business owner, and money is always coming in. I have $10 million in the bank, throwing off $500,000 cash and interest. I own 10,000 apartment buildings.
Remember, everyone, this is a goal.
Okay. I get paid $100,000 at a time to speak, at least 1 gig a month. I learn Torah for 2 hours a day. I have 10 million followers on social media. Each post averages 1 million views. And I have a deep and rich relationship with God, and my trust in Him is rock solid.
Wow. It sounds perfect, by the way.
So
almost too perfect.
So it is. So you said to me, introduce yourself, who I am today. But I also write down my goals every single day, no matter what.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you do realize, Berel, when you write that down the way you did,
Yeah.
which is astounding,
Yeah.
and that sounds like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
What about the problems that those things, each and one on its own, is going to come along with? Are you aware that with so much good, there has to come a little bit of challenges, and it's not going to be just all rosy? What about those things? Are you thinking about those things?
That's why the last one, which is sort of the culmination of all of them, is I have a deep trust in God. Because money, I always say, is like fire in a house, right? Fire could light the house up. It could burn the house down. But if you have God, it tempers all of your blessings. That's why you see all these billionaires, they all get divorced. Their life is in a shambles. Their kids don't talk to them. They're always in the news for this scandal. But when a person has God, it tempers all the blessings.
Wow. Now, the trick is to leave room for God. Because when so many things are going right, and you sometimes get carried away, and you kind of forget about a higher divine power. And that's the trick. That's the challenge. How do you balance that? How do you tell yourself every day that I need to leave room for God?
So I've spoken to my rabbi about these goals because they're a little ostentatious, okay? First of all, is it okay to have such goals? Because officially we're supposed to live our life that God runs our lives. So how could you have goals? So are goals even consistent with a spiritual life, with Torah, right?
Great question.
So that's number one. And number two is, let's say you are allowed to have goals. Why not just want to earn $500,000 a year? You live very nicely on $500,000 a year after tax, and you're okay. You have to put $17 million. It's not a little bit aggressive, right? My rabbi told me if God implanted this desire in your heart, it would be a crime not to fulfill it. He said it's a crime. He said, you have everything. You have the brain, the business brain. You have the platform. You have everything that you need to fulfill those goals. It's a crime if you don't fulfill it.
So not only is he a fan of writing it down, he's telling you got to go all the way.
It's a crime if I don't.
Wow. That's a nice way of looking at things. I like that.
Yeah, it's very ambitious, and it's very forward thinking. And I think more of us should have goals like that right in front of our faces that we're looking at every morning.
Every morning and every night, I write them down.
You know what? It's something that happens, I think, every year with people, like the New Year, the Jewish New Year, the non-Jewish New Year. Everyone comes up with a resolution, right? And this is one of those questions that we're going to be asking everyone today. What is your New Year's resolution?
Yeah. You're asking me personally?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I mean, he just kind of laid it out.
I know,
So-
but that's a goal for today. He's
But it's going to take him not one day for him to complete
So
that
I'll
goal.
tell you my problem with New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. You look at it once.
yeah.
And my goals change every day, by the way.
It changes from 17 million to 18, or
Sometimes I put 170 million just for fun. It depends. Depends how spicy I'm feeling that day.
so. This is your New Year's resolution. Your goals are your everyday resolution.
Every day,
I love that.
goals change.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm excited to be a social media powerhouse, and I write that down. Some days I just want to be private in a little cocoon with my family. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want anybody to see me.
Berel, what do you do for fun?
I like a cigar.
Okay.
I like a nice cigar.
Yeah.
I like to go to restaurants.
Nice. I'm kind of jealous for those that smoke cigars. They have something to do every day with or without others for at least a half an hour.
I actually have a promise with God that I'm only allowed to smoke one cigar a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a neder. It's not like a bli neder. It's a neder that I'm only allowed one cigar a week.
Why
You
is
already
that?
made that deal?
Yeah.
For what was behind that?
I used to smoke, then this is, now you're getting deep.
You mean none of your business? Okay.
Before I was religious, from 13 years old until 21 years old, I smoked weed every single day of every single hour of my life.
Wow. That's intense.
And then I became religious, and I was trying to quit, and cigarettes too. I was trying to quit forever. And I read in the Torah where it says, if you make a promise to Hashem, you better keep that promise. And I wrote down, I promise you with a neder that I'll never smoke weed or a cigarette ever again in my life. It's been 15 years I haven't smoked either.
That's
Wow.
amazing. Kudos to you.
So, but the problem is, once a smoker, always a smoker.
Yeah, you didn't say cigars.
You're right. I didn't say cigars. So it's my little way. And I don't even smoke once a week. Whatever. When I have a buddy that also likes cigars, I like a nice cigar.
Wow. Bro, let me ask you something. There's a guy on TikTok.
Yeah.
He's pretty popular. I'm sure you've seen some of his videos. He goes around and he looks for people that seem successful. Just by the external looks, he has an idea that this guy probably is making it in life, and he approaches them.
Yeah.
And he asks them, have you ever been broke before in your life? And what was that like? And what would you tell someone in a similar situation to get out of that position, to make life better for yourself?
Yeah.
And everybody gives different answers.
Sure.
Off the cuff.
Sure.
And some of these people, it almost seems like they're very prepared for this question because
Sure.
they have way too much to say in the topic.
Right.
But the one common theme that I noticed is almost every person that he approaches and he asks them, have you ever been broke before? Everybody says, yeah, like,
Wow.
of course. Like, why even ask me that? You don't just become rich, successful, famous overnight.
Right.
There's trials and tribulations along the way. Berel Solomon, have you been broke before?
I'm broke right now.
No, but that's not the kind of broke I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about, like, you're not sure where you're going to put food on the table tomorrow.
Sure.
You don't have any prospects on the horizon.
Sure.
You have no job right now. You don't even have an idea of what your job's going to be. Have you ever been in that position before? And what would you tell someone who's in a similar situation right now?
When I left my family business, the day that I left, and I was the president of my father's company, we were doing $30 million a year. The day that I left, had 40 or 50 employees. And I'm driving across the bridge from the office back to my house. And I had no idea what I was going to do the next day. And I'm on the phone, on speakerphone with my wife. And I start to panic. And I look up through the windshield and I say, Hashem, God, I trust you that you're going to take care of me. You never once let me down. I don't think you're going to let me down right now. And I trust you that everything's going to be okay. Now, that's very nice. The trust in God, the bitachon, is very nice. But if it's not coupled with something, it's useless. So everybody always asks me, what's more important, bitachon or ishtalut? Which, trusting in God or actually doing the physical action. And I say to them, it's actually the same thing. You have to have bitachon in the ishtalut. You have to trust God in the actions that you're going to do. So at that time, when people are down and out, they just have to get busy. The universe, God's universe, rewards action. It rewards when you physically do things, whether that means making a post, whether that means showing up to a conference, whether that means reaching out to a prospect, whether that means sending in your resume, whether that means knocking on a door. We're rewarded for the physical action. So the main thing is to get busy and to create opportunities, because you can create opportunities are created. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm sure you guys are here, is to create opportunities for yourself.
What a great answer.
Yeah, what a great answer.
The reason why I like that answer, honestly, is because everybody has a different style of how they answer that question. But the idea of putting yourself out there is something that needs to be spoken about more and more and more. You got to make those moves. You got to wake up. Even going to prayer. We have something that many don't have. It's the concept of going to a synagogue and praying. And you know what goes on before and after prayer? You network. Yeah. You connect. Yeah. You meet people. And getting out there is such a great message.
Yeah. Now, Berel, let's say it's in 3 years from now, and you surpassed your 1 million subscribers. You have millions of people that are following you, and you have a very big platform.
Yeah.
At that moment, what's the goal there? Like, what message do you want people to receive from you? And don't give me, a laundry list. Like, let's zone in on one particular thing that you want to be known for, that you want to stand out for. There are people that are following Berel Solomon. If they tune in, this is what they can expect. And that's what you wanted to take away.
So I didn't write it down today, but if you check my yesterday or the day before, I want to be known as the guy that helped people make a living. I can't tell you why it's important to me. I can't tell you why it's something in my heart. I'm just very passionate about helping people make a living. So if people tune into me and they left and they were able to make more money, and not only make the money, but actually know what to do with the money, because what I'm embarrassed about that I didn't write down today, I forgot, was from the 17 million in sales comes 10 million in profit, comes 2 million in charity every year. So if I could be that guy that helped you make money and helped you give charity from that money, I would be a very happy guy.
Beautiful. That's a legacy worth living, Berel. I'm proud to call you a friend, to be honest. This is beautiful.
And it's funny, like, if you ask me, I feel like I'm all fluff. I feel like that guy's job is better. That guy's podcast is better. That guy's mission is better. But what I'm getting from this little thing here, thank you, Michael, is that my mission is good enough. My part in this world is good enough. So easy to look at. I'm sure you guys are looking at stats from other podcasts. You guys are not the biggest podcast yet. I think Joe Rogan is still ahead of you.
We're getting there.
That guy.
But there is a space for your podcast. There's a space for your mission. There's a space for your goals. What I got from this conversation is there's a space for my little slice in this world.
I love that message that you are good enough.
You're good
Whatever
enough.
it is that you're doing, you're good enough, and you can make an impact
and
leave a legacy. Berel, we're interviewing a lot of people today at the healthcare show.
Yeah.
We have CEOs, administrators, different vendors and operators. What's a good question that you think we should ask the next guest who's an operator of a nursing home?
Why are you here? What do you want to get from this? I still have not figured that out. Ask me why I'm here.
Why are you here?
To make money.
Yes. Okay.
I'm here to make money.
A real raw answer.
I'm here to make money.
Love it.
I'm not here for fun. I'm not here to schmooze. I'd much rather be with my family in Panama. I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to make money. And if anybody doesn't give you that answer, I think that they have to be educated. You're not here for fun. You're not here to network.
But taking a step further, what about this place will drive you making more money? Why are you here to make more money? What's this outlet that you believe can help you make more money?
Every vendor that's here or every operator that's here, there's one thing in common with every business. One thing. What's the thing that's in common? People. Every business needs people. I don't care if you're Google or if you're ChatGPT or if you're a gasoline station or if you're a nursing home operator or if you sell insurance. You need people in your business. My main business is headhunting, and every one of these organizations here needs great people, and we help them find great people.
So really, truly, you're out here networking, trying to meet those people.
Yes.
And connect other people. And by the way, Berel, you're a people person by nature.
Yes.
This is a natural thing for you. And it's a beautiful thing when you can wake up in the morning and go to work and do something that you enjoy.
Yes.
Because you sounds like you get a good feeling personally when you help someone get a job.
Yes.
So even if you didn't get paid for it,
it's a nice feeling.
It's a nice feeling in itself. And to make money from it, you're a lucky man.
But I will tell you, a lot of people don't know this about me. I am one of the most introverted people that you've ever met in your life.
I've heard you say this before.
I'm very introverted.
I can't understand that.
It's all a show.
But you're a great actor then.
Thank you.
Like you do this facade all the time.
Yes.
It must be exhausting.
Exhausting.
How is this possible? How do you have it in you? Maybe you're not so introverted as you think you are. Maybe you've been lying to yourself all along. I look at you as one of the most flamboyant people that are out there. You're hustling and bustling. You're not sitting still for a minute. You're all over the place. I mean, you've made a name for yourself, bro.
When I worked in my family business, you didn't know who I was. You didn't need to know who I was. When I left my family business, I needed to make a name because I was out on my own. I just watched a great documentary on Sylvester Stallone, the main actor in Rocky and Rambo. And
I love documentaries, by the way.
Me too.
And I love Sylvester Stallone. I'm ready.
Exactly. I'd love to
you
hear
guys
his
are
story.
partners in my last documentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he said something that really stuck with me. He said, he was abandoned by his father. He lived a rough life. They were immigrants. His mother left them when they were young. Thank God I didn't have that rough of a childhood. But he said, in my life, I was always disappointed. So in the movies that I made, I was able to create my reality through acting, through theater. So personally, I'm more of an introverted type of person. So I like to act and do the opposite extreme for the outside because I wish I was more extroverted. I wish I was more like that. So I just figure, hey, why not just act that way? But a lot of people, when they meet me, they are surprised when they meet me because I'm a lot more reserved than they're expecting.
I look at that as a benefit, to be honest with you. I think it's like people wake up, like myself, for example. I wake up with a little bit of anxiety in the morning.
I have anxiety right now.
Yeah, I believe you.
Well, anxiety about what? Every day in the morning you wake up, you have anxiety?
Every morning I have this like pit in my stomach. I wake up and I'm like, what's going to happen today?
Me too.
And what we do is we push through.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, you make it happen. You make something happen. You have an act. You get out there. You go pray. You spend time with your kids. You do things. And that really drives us to be who we are.
Yes.
I think it's a benefit that you're an introvert. And
I'm sorry. This is very somber to me, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed to hear this.
It's okay.
By the way,
you mean you have empathy for me? Is that what you mean?
No, I want to make you feel better. I want to make you feel better for a second.
Okay.
He's right. It's the reason. If I didn't feel that way, I feel like I have a lot of deficiencies. It drives me to fill those deficiencies. And Sylvester Stallone in his video, in his documentary, he said the reason why I go out and create every day is because I need that validation. And that's what forces me to go out and make movie after movie and hit after hit. So
validation or distraction?
He said validation.
Okay, so you said this before about 10 minutes ago, and I was very proud that you said it because we did this together, Michael. So we have a rabbi that we're very close with in our company, and he comes a lot to talk to everybody, and not about business, but just about life, how to be happier, more fulfilled, and not wanting more and be motivated. One of the things he told us after many hours of getting there was a big buildup, but the point was, give yourself a pass. You're actually very good. You don't have to be perfect.
Right.
It's okay to have deficiencies. And don't tell yourself, well, I have a little deficiency, so I'll be content. No. That's perfect. That's an A. That's an A+. That's the score you were always striving for. It's to be that person when you wake up and you know, I'm going to mess up. I'm not going to do the right thing. I'm not going to be the best version of myself today, but that's going to be amazing. And that's what God wants from me, is just try a little bit harder today to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. That's it. Nothing more.
What do you think?
I love it. He's adding to what we were saying earlier. You know, you wake up in the morning, you should have that feeling like Berel said earlier. You are good enough, and that good enough is amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
And I think that should be the title for this segment of this episode.
Yeah.
You are good enough.
Yeah. And Berel, by the way, you're an inspiration.
Thank you.
You give yourself a lot less credit than you really deserve. Because from a casual observer like myself outside, following you, I watch you. There are many, many people like me. and you're sending out positive messages.
Thank you.
And don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Thank you.
And there are going to be naysayers, and there are going to be haters, and there are going to be people that just are trying to lift themselves up by putting
The
you down.
biggest hater that I have to work on is not the ones outside. It's the one inside.
It's the one internally.
If I could, I struggled with this for a long time, and I think that we should wrap it up because this has been a phenomenal episode. There's in Pirkei Avos, it says that who is rich? Somebody who's happy with their lot.
Yes.
And this messed me up for a long time because maybe it means I shouldn't strive. I should be happy with what I have.
Yeah. You don't need more.
And if you look in the Mefarshim, if you look in the explanations of what it actually means, it means that when you do become hyper successful, you should still be happy with your lot. Because what a lot of people do is once they become successful, all of a sudden their community is no good, their wife is no good, their kids are no good, their synagogue is no good, their house is no good, they have to move. It's once you have made it, no matter where you are, be happy with everything that's around you. So you have the permission to strive and be happy with what everything else is still around you.
I love it. Yeah.
This was an amazing, amazing interview. Thank you, Berel, for your time. We
This was
really,
fun.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we look forward to getting you one-on-one for a real long one-on-one episode.
3 hours.
Proper
Proper 24-hour episode, like an Elon Musk episode.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be 4 or 5 glasses of wine in by the time we're done.
I'll do it.
I want to do it the right way.
Thank you, boys.